Thank you everybody that watched the hunting video. What I wasn't prepared for was today's front page, where Peter Mandelson claims that Tony Blair took a £1 million payment in order to enact the hunting ban, which, as Tim Bonner quite rightly pointed out, Tony Blair did say that it was one of his greatest regrets. I think we all kind of knew that, didn't we? But anyway, I suppose they've got to fill the front page with something. But I imagine many of you will be attending your local Boxing Day meet. I certainly shall be, just for a bit of fun really, and to support other country pursuits. Apparently we're all meant to be working together. Coming up in this show, we have got the CPSA awards. Now they're always a tricky one. Coming up as well, we've got news from the GWCT, including making salmon an endangered species, and an update on foxes again for you. These seem to be quite the topic of the day, don't they? We've also got the date for the Benelli semi-auto shoot. That's on the 18th of May at Holland and Holland Shooting Ground. As I say, there's going to be a massive push on Benellis because they're just not celebrated or talked about enough. So it's my honour to be able to bring those to you. Please do like and subscribe to this channel to see more about Benellis. But that's not the gun of the week this week. What is gun of the week? It is this. The Caesar Guerini Invictus. Now, very recently I ran a poll about what your thoughts were on Caesar Guerini. Thank you to everybody that responded to that. I'd put this manufacturer as sort of double-sided in a way, because yes, they've got the very pretty, very glitzy guns, but they've also got the hardcore sporters, and I don't think that people make enough of that. This Invictus gun is something that is a little bit different. There will be a full review coming, but for this particular gun you need to know that it is fixed choke half and half, which is quite interesting. And this is sort of an alloy coating here, and this is an appearance that obviously it's not going to change, it's not going to rub away. Even if the action doesn't look unbelievably beautiful to you right now, I think it's something that's going to grow on you. I think they've made it as a timeless classic. This is a gun that is designed to perform in the sporting field, okay? This is not designed to look good on a peg. This is designed to win competitions. We know that Richard Foz shoots the Caesar Guerini. You can't get away from that. This is an affordable, it's second-hand solution to somebody that I would say club level shooter, somebody that's got a bit of a taste for it. They want to carry on. They're not really sure where to go. They're stuck in a Beretta Browning conundrum. The Caesar Guerini is a good choice for you, particularly this one. I've chosen the Invictus because I think it's a gun which not many people are talking about. We don't tend to have a great deal of them in stock at Premier Guns, but we've got a bit of a run on the Caesar Guerini. I've done a write-up on the history of the company, which hopefully you'll find interesting. I certainly found it interesting. It's not been going that long, but what they have done is they've looked at the action, they've created a greater locking surface. What that's done is it basically puts more contact between the parts, so there's less opportunity of it working loose. But the parts that they say, because their claim is that you can shoot 1 million rounds through this Caesar Guerini, yeah, bits are going to need to be replaced, and they've made it very easy to make those replaceable. So they've got longevity in mind, they've got high performance in mind. This is designed to do a lot of shells. The balance on this is phenomenal. Yes, it's an Italian gun, but even the pad at the back is grind to fit, very similar to the Browning 725. So there's lots to look at in that. I think this is a nice example. I think it's a good opportunity for people, and you may have seen on the Facebook and Instagram channels that there are a few more Caesar Guerinis as well. We've got about 3 in at the minute, and I will be doing a review on those next week if they're still there. If you would like to make any inquiries or you've got any questions, please do get in touch, particularly if you've ever owned an Invictus. Let me know how you've got on with it and what you think. It's an Invictus 1, this is. So yeah, we'll have a look at that next week. Right, on to the rest of the news. Right, just this second come in, I've had a notification from Louisa Clutterbuck that Eat Wild has now secured places for game to 32 children's nurseries. What a fantastic achievement. The children will be provided with wild meat meals 3 times a week on a 3-week cycle, totalling 3,000 wild meals a month. That is phenomenal. Well done, Eat Wild. And I'm going to show you something really hilarious about that company in a minute. This is a significant achievement in introducing children to it at a young age may encourage them to seek it throughout their adult lives. I completely agree with that. Well done indeed. And they've been working with Leon, their culinary director. I haven't met him, I'm looking forward to doing so in due course. Well done, Eat Wild. As for Aim to Sustain, they've released an infographic. Take a look at this. So, hopefully that makes everything a whole lot clearer for you. Yeah. Right, let's move on to something else, basically. Now, the shop of Eat Wild. Look at this, look at this. I like the grass one. I think that looks good. We've also got this. I like the Just Cook It. All this not elf on a shelf business. I see we're all doing it, aren't we, this year? One of the best groups I've seen to doing that is the Angus Moore and Glen group. So follow those on Facebook. They had like Caper Kaylee on a ukulele and stuff like that. It's pretty funny. Some of these are only going to have obviously a limited shelf life, or maybe that's elf on a shelf life. But certainly this one, what do you think about this? Sex, drugs and... oh my goodness. Anyway, that's just come in, so back to the rest of the show. The CPSA Awards. It's a difficult one for me because obviously, you know, I know quite a lot of people and a lot of them are in the categories. I've already said Steve Lovett, the clay shooting company, for Trapper of the Year. Let's see what else is worth voting for. The tricky one is Shooter of the Year. Well, for me it comes up against Sam Green. He's won the World Sporting, he's won all this, and it's a bit of a tricky one because does he need to win CPSA Shooter of the Year as well? You know, is it a shoe-in for that? But actually, I'm thinking Peter Chester should perhaps go for this because if you look at his track record, and here it is. So I think the CPSA Awards are designed to give a bit of recognition to people that may not have already had it. So yeah, I'm going to go for Peter Chester with that one. Disabled Tutor of the Year. This is controversial. I'm going for Lori-Ann Greening because she could have gone for a disabled class in the past and she didn't. She just went for the normal ladies class. And I think that's admirable. So yeah, Lori-Ann Greening for that one. Lady Shooter of the Year. Oh, Kat Smalley. I am going to go for Kat Smalley, and this is a difficult one, and hopefully I'll do some work with Cheryl Hall moving on to next year now, and as you will have seen on the channel, I've interviewed Kat Smalley. But I think the reason I'd give this award to Kat is because, well, if you look at the rest of her teammates, I think she's got fantastic commitment, and I also remember when she was doing the CPSA Young Shots at Nottingham and District Gun Club, she's been helping out with that. So Kat Smalley for that one. Right, Ground of the Year, Nottingham and District Gun Club. Not just because they're the poorer cousin of EJ Churchill and Eriswell Lodge, although that is one reason why they should win, but it's because of the very friendly feel that they've got there at the ground. I haven't been there for a little while, but you can go have breakfast, you know, the boys are there shooting DTL. Hopefully you'll bump into Dave Hinchcliffe and Alan Warren. They're sort of on my shooting bingo tick list when I go there. And yeah, it's a really nice cafe. They've updated that recently. And they're constantly doing little bits on the ground. Carl's very handy. And yeah, they're constantly making little improvements. So yeah, Nottingham District Gun Club for that. Let's see what else we've got. Coach of the Year, Mike Williams. Not saying any more about it. He's my Coach of the Year. That's who I'm voting for. Right, Young Shot of the Year. Now this is a difficult one. So I'm torn between Olivia Stevens and Charlie Folds. Now, it's always the same, isn't it, with the son of a father, and when they're following in the footsteps. You think, oh, it must be easier for him, because, you know, his dad's an Olympic shot and everything. But he's still got to deliver the goods, and he is doing. So I think This is a really difficult one for me. I love Charlie and I engage with Olivia a lot on Instagram. Yeah, very, 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 very tricky choice for me there, and I'm not going to say, because the truth is I can't decide. So that's where we are anyway. Everybody's been badgering me about the CPSA awards. Oh, what am I going to say? Oh, right, there you go. So that's as far as I'm going with that. Right, moving on to salmon being listed as an endangered species. Right, let's see. Now, I got this from the GWCT website. Let's have a look at it. Here it is, the IUCN, whatever that stands for, classifies Atlantic salmon in Great Britain as endangered. It's long been one of the icons of British rivers. They've put down one of the key pressures being climate change. Not sure about that, really. I do agree with poor water quality, dams and barriers, salmon farming, exploitation at sea, and invasive non-native species, yes. So there you go. That's one of the things that's come out of COP28. Right, let's see what they say about foxes now. So there was a new paper came out that was commissioned by the League Against Cruel Sports. The GWCT, as we know, they're the big scientists, aren't they? They do everything to do with science. They're led by the science. They're like, really, they're everything to us shooters. So you really should sign up to the GWCT because they're the ones that give the evidence which helps to inform government policy with real hard facts behind it. So think about joining the GWCT if you haven't already. And if you do join, and even if you haven't joined, you could get an invite to this dinner, which they've called the Last Supper, and tickets are just £450. So if anybody would like to take me for dinner, you know, okay, yeah, maybe not. But no, obviously it's to support a good cause, so yeah, I'm not pushing the dinner, okay. But we are going to look at this report. I'll put a link in the description for you for all this. I'm not going to go all the way through it, but if you want to follow the errors that the GWCT have picked up on, it is quite interesting actually. So the first one is these traps. You know, there's no data to suggest how effectively these kill. Well, there is data to suggest, because in 2018 it says that these traps kill very quickly and may, in a significantly high number of instances, meet the ideal performance of achieving almost instantaneous unconsciousness. That's code for death. On page 29, it claimed that although the pro-shooting industry, that's us, promotes the idea that predator control is necessary for conservation, they have failed to produce compelling data in support of this claim. Really? 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 This claim is possibly the most staggering of the lot, they put in bold. If the authors had consulted the peer-reviewed side, they would have found plenty of examples such as this, this and this. Well, let's have a look, shall we? Journal of Applied Ecology, right. Predation on the breeding of productivity of capercaillie and black grouse, that's good. This, capercaillie breeding in success, yeah. And this. Okay, I would criticise that they've basically done the same links to the same thing, and that maybe they could have perhaps used other examples. But, oh well, the GWCT, typically quite a soft organisation I think, are biting back. And I meant to say they have actually reached 50% of their £60,000 funding call that I reported a couple of weeks ago. So I'm really pleased for them there. They do need to be a bit more... And they are being, which is good. And also their gun raffle raised an absolute fortune as well. So things are going well for them, so let's get on board and try and support them, because they are doing some really good work. Right, let's see what they say at the end of this then. Furthermore, we have had papers published on the role of predation management on waders in Scotland, and they are tackling the issues with Scotland, for grey partridges, songbirds and brown hares and many other species. If, for some reason, the authors chose to discount the GWCT's independent peer-reviewed research, they could have read and referenced studies by others about the benefits of controlling mink to support waders, the influence of grouse moor management on non-target species, and a broader study of predation as a limiting factor for bird populations. So, yeah, it's good that they're setting the record straight there. As I say, I'll put a link into the description for you, and that's about it from me. Please do follow Facebook and Instagram. The reason I keep pushing that is not because I want followers, but because there is stuff that is of actual value there, which I can't always bring to you on YouTube. So, yeah. Alright, well, thank you so much for watching. Have a great weekend, everybody, and I'll see you next Friday. Thank you. Bye-bye.
With Alex Sayre.